$200 a month. That is the whole strategy. Not a trust fund, not winning the lottery, not a side hustle empire. Just $200 a month that you never touch. Do that for 30 years in a simple S&P 500 index fund, the same type of fund Warren Buffett tells most people to use, and you do not end up with $72,000. You end up with around $452,000. You put in $72,000. The market does the rest. About $380,000 of that is growth that came from you doing nothing but waiting. This is not a trick. It is not get rich quick. It is just what long-term stock market math looks like when you give it time. And here's the part that matters way more than the dollar amount. It is not about how much you invest. It is about when you start. Let me show you why timing, not talent, not income, not luck, is the whole game. Two people, same $200 a month, same S&P 500 index fund, same 10% average return over the long run. Person A starts at 25. Person B starts at 35. Both invest until age 55. By 55, Person A has around $452,000. Person B has around $151,000. Same monthly amount, same fund, same return, just 10 years apart. The gap between those two accounts is about $300,000. Now here's the part that really hurts. Person A only put in $24,000 more. That extra decade of $200 contributions, but ends up with roughly $300,000 more in the account. That extra $24,000 did not turn into $300,000 because they invested more. It turned into $300,000 because those dollars had more years to compound. The market is not paying you for your effort. It is paying you for your patience. So what does compounding actually feel like in real life? In the beginning, it feels like absolutely nothing. In year one, $200 a month at a 10% return makes you about $113 in gains. That is it. You put in $2,400 and you see a little over $100 in profit. It feels pointless. Most people quit mentally right there, but fast forward to around year 20, same $200 a month, same basic strategy. Now your account is big enough that a 10% year is throwing off something like $15,000 in gains in a single year without you increasing your monthly amount. The account is basically feeding itself. Your contributions matter way less than the machine you have already built. That is how ordinary incomes turn into, how did they do that? Net worths. Not from picking the right stock, from starting early and refusing to touch it. Now why the S&P 500? Why not some fancy stock picking strategy, or crypto, or whatever is on your For You page this week? The S&P 500 is just a list of 500 of the largest companies in the United States. When you buy an S&P 500 index fund, you are buying a tiny slice of all of them at once. Apple, Microsoft, Amazon, JP Morgan, and hundreds more in one move. You are not trying to guess winners. You are not gambling on a single company. You are basically betting on the long-term growth of the American economy. Over decades, not days, not months, decades, that bet has paid off at around 10% per year, on average when you include dividends. Here is what that looks like in real life. Some years are monsters, 20+% up. Some years are brutal, double-digit losses. The 10% is the average of the good and the bad, smashed together over long stretches of time. It is not smooth, it is not guaranteed, but over 30-year periods it has been shockingly consistent. The biggest wealth killer is not bad years. It is what people do during bad years. The investor who stayed in through 2008, through the 2020 crash, through 2022, and did not bail, historically beat the person who kept jumping out when things felt scary and jumping back in when things felt safe again. Every data set says the same thing. Time in the market beats timing the market. So if you are still watching, here is exactly how to start this week. Step 1, open a brokerage account. If you do not have one, look at Fidelity, Vanguard, or Schwab. They all offer free accounts, no account minimums, and zero commissions on their own index funds and ETFs. Pick one. Do not overthink this. Open it this week. Step 2, Pick an S&P 500 index fund or ETF. At Fidelity, look for FXAIX. At Vanguard, VFIAX or VOO. At Schwab, SWTSX. Technically a total market fund, but it heavily overlaps the S&P 500 and does the same job for most people. All of these give you broad exposure to US stocks with rock-bottom fees, often under 0.1% a year. That means for every $1,000 invested, you are paying under $1 per year in fees. Low fees matter because fees compound against you the same way returns compound for you. Step 3. Automate it. Set up an automatic monthly investment on the same date every month. $200, $100, $50. Start with what you can actually sustain. The habit matters more than the number at the beginning. Automation is the cheat code because it takes your emotions out of the process. It happens whether you feel optimistic, pessimistic, or distracted. That is it. 3 steps, 1 afternoon. Then your job is to leave it alone and give it time. I want to be super clear about one thing before you click away. This video used 10% as the return because that is close to the long-term historical average for the S&P 500 with dividends reinvested. But past performance does not guarantee future performance. No one can promise you 10%. Markets can absolutely suck for years at a time. What history does show, over and over again, is that patient, long-term investors in broad, low-cost index funds have beaten most professional money managers over 20 and 30-year stretches. You do not need to outsmart Wall Street. You just need to outweight Wall Street. And that is a game. Regular people can actually win. None of this is financial advice. This video is for education and information only. Your situation is unique. Consult a licensed financial professional before making any investment decisions. How old were you when you made your first investment? Or what is honestly stopping you from starting right now? Drop it in the comments. Your answer might be the thing that helps someone else start. If this gave you even one, wait, I can actually do this moment, hit subscribe. Every Thursday and Saturday, I post new videos on how money really works and how to make it work for you. See you Saturday.